everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, we're going to take a look at Jay's collection, and the collection that Jay has is interesting to me in a special way, and it's this way. It, it's a collection of divers watches, and I don't have any divers watches, not a single one. My overseas, I guess if it fell overboard, it'd be a diver's watch, but it's really not a diver's watch. So let's take a look at this collection. Some of the themes that Jay had is pretty much of a retro kind of theme, and he likes retro divers. The these a lot of them are vintage styles with today's technology. So he's got a real interesting collection. Now, it it's too easy, I think, for people who are collecting in one genre to reject every other genre. I don't think that's a good idea, and this is why. To me, who has no divers, it's very exciting to look at these things. Now, people who collect divers might say, "Oh well, you should get this and you should get that, and that's not the way to do it." Yeah, you don't need to do that. This is the way that Jay wants to do it, and I like that. Here you got a collection, and he's going to do it his way, and I think that that's probably good advice for every collector. Do it your way. You shouldn't worry about what anyone else thinks. If it fits you, feels right, and makes you happy, then it's a good collection. And I think it's important for us to remember that because I've seen a lot of comments online where people about somebody else's watch or watch selection. You shouldn't do that. I don't think that's very smart, and you never learn anything new. Okay, so let's be smart and learn new stuff. Okay, and I'm at the front of the line learning new stuff. Okay, the first watch or watches that Jay has are Tudors, Black Bay Tudors. I've always liked the Black Bay Tudors, always. Ever since I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's a great watch. I saw one in person in this jewelry store, and it was even better than I thought. So here's a watch, and I came close to getting one at one time or another, and something else came up that I liked better and ended up getting it. Okay, so now not only does Jay have one Tudor, he has three. The red one, the black one, and the black Tudor is Black Bay Tudor is one that you don't hear or see too much about. But let me tell you, I've looked around, and there are some very good bargains on this watch, on the black bezel. And there are and a lot of people like all black watches and stuff. And this, I think, is a good choice in that. Finally, there's the blue bezel, and I love the blue bezel too. I'm a big red bezel fan, but I like the blue one also. Okay, so that's the very first part of the collection. Now, the second part is, and actually it's the second watch of this first group, and now the second, is a Breitling. And Breitlings actually have, and again, this is to my surprise, probably not yours, they have a pretty good history with divers watches. I've always associated them with flyers because all of the flying shops that I used to frequent had Breitlings, and they advertise it as very much for flyers and stuff. But they also have a very strong history with divers watches, and Jay's got one. Now, the final watch is, in terms of horological finery, is my favorite. And this is the Omega Seamaster with a chronometer with the coaxial cable, and the master on that means that it's got the 15,000 Gauss. 15,000 Gauss meaning it's like really anti-magnetic. So, and looking at it, it's one of the things that Jay said. He doesn't have any sort of star for his collection. I can see that, but on the other hand, the the Omega stands out for me. Looking at these other ones, those are nice watches. They're divers watches, and as Jay put it, he's not an in-house movement snob. So that's one thing he doesn't have to worry about in these the previous four watches. But the Seamaster with the coaxial movement or coaxial escapement, really, I'm pretty sure this is an in-house. Okay, and so to me that brings it to the top of the pile and gives it a little more illumination. Now, when we look at all of these watches together, they go together so beautifully. I mean, almost seamlessly. You look at them as one, and you can see what I might call the symmetry of the collection. My collection doesn't have that kind of symmetry. It's all over the map. Um, the but this one does, and I've seen others like this. I prefer the more eclectic ones, but man, I sure can see the attraction of having one with sort of a similar kinds of watches. Now, the next step is, of course, well, if I'm giving you advice, which is, and I'm sure I hope everyone else chimes in on this too on the comments section. Let's say, look, okay, um, history is important to Jay. He mentioned that the he likes three hand movements. He doesn't like the complicated ones. I got to agree with him with that too. I like the three hand. Probably, I really like the power indicator, just because I know how much has been wound up, but not much else. I don't like these really noisy watches, but that's me. Some people love them. Okay. Um, there are a couple different suggestions I would have, different ways I think that Jay can go. One way, and to me this was obvious, right? As soon as I saw it, and maybe to someone else, and it is to some extent to Jay, that hey, you need a Rolex for this. A Rolex would fit in perfectly with this. And there are a lot of three-handed Rolexes that are very affordable, and Rolex is a super watch. So yeah, why don't you get a Rolex? That would go in well. You have the Tudors, you got the Omega, you got the Breitling. Boom, a Rolex I think would be very good for continuing in this kind of collection. Now, let me interpose my own taste here. What I would do is get something that is a little fancier. Not a great deal, but somewhat. And what I have in mind is a very clean Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control. Sterling silver, not sterling silver, but stainless steel. Stainless steel Master Control, you can find them condition zero for right around the neighborhood of $4,000. Now I know that $4,000 sounds like a lot, and it is, but I mean you can pay that for a Rolex, and with a Jaeger-LeCoultre you're going to probably be a tier above that because of all of the innovations that the Jaeger-LeCoultre has been involved with. Another way you could go would be with the Scapograph 300, the Eberhard Scapograph. Here, the reason for this is that you have a Grand Prix winner, and they sell for brand new, condition zero, for around 2,000, right in that neighborhood. I've seen them as low as 1,800, but you can find them, I think, little more likely in the 2,000 range, between 2,000 and 2,500. Very affordable watch, and it's a true diver's watch. It's got the helium release valve and some other features to it that make it a true diver's watch. It comes with the rubber band. By the way, I'm wearing my harboring to Felix today. Okay. All right. Well, those are some suggestions. Jay is clearly a guy who's got a mind of his own and he knows what he likes. The Eberhard is sort of going along the same lines. It was really, if you look at the history of the scapholograph, you're going to find a lot more to it, a lot of history to it. Okay. Also, too, I think for business, work and stuff, a nice Jaeger-LeCoultre master control would be just the thing, or a Rolex. Rolex would fit in here. I think probably the only problem with a Rolex, and same with the Eberhard, is they look like all of the other ones that you have. So, but that's okay if that's what you want. I think it'd be a good choice. Okay, let's hear from you on the comments. See what you think. Hey, is this a great idea or not? Or some other things that you might think about this particular collection. Okay. Also, too, if you want, today only, for the rest of my life, if you'd like to subscribe, you're always more than welcome. Been Bill Sanders on WatchArtSci. See you on Friday.